Beep, beep, toot, toot. Hey, good people. It's your Alabama church girl here. First, giving honor to God, who is the head of my life. To all the leaders, saints, and friends, welcome, welcome, welcome on in. All right. It's you're over here tonight with the Alabama church girl, and we're having a conversation about love and marriage, Huntsville. This is season 8, episode number 7. I think I had it wrong in the thumbnail, but it's episode number 7, Love and Lockup. I not really sure why they titled this episode Love and Lockup. Maybe because Mel threw out free Tisha in the end, but we jump back over where we picked up where we left off last week. Beep beep toot toot. Hey, Poppy. Picked up where we left off at this cliffhanger last week in the iconic lounge. We're at Nell's party. Beep beep toot toot. Hey there, Kevin, and good to see you back. Yes, we picked up where we left off last week at Nell's party. Just a reminder, quick reminder, Nell is celebrating, we don't know which birthday, but this is only her second birthday party in her life, and we're figuring she's over 50, maybe not quite 60. So this is only the second birthday party, so this is a momentous occasion for her. And Tisha is over here cutting up. Y'all remember? Yeah, they over there cutting up at the Icons Lounge with this iconic fight they having. Beep beep toot toot. Good evening, Miss Pacino Rules. Good to see you back as well. I love it when you guys join in. I really, really do. But we're back here, and Tisha she's going a tad bit crazy. Nell says that Tisha was acting aggressive and crazy, and I happen to agree with Nell. Tisha is going off about how she was upset that Nell said that she was her mentor. She's also upset with Stormy because Stormy invited her to her lovers and friends event gala. And who else was she upset with at the round table discussion? But she's just picking fights with everybody. She jumped on Trisha about her relationship status. She tried to snatch off Mel's glasses and tell her, take those glasses off in here. Tisha is going crazy. Like, what is wrong with you? What did your drink get spiked with? I don't know what y'all were pre-gaming with at home or in the sprinter, but please don't do that again, ever again, Tisha. Y'all have been here from week to week. I've been giving Tisha her props that, hey, is coming out of her shell. She's found her voice, and I'm proud of her for that. But what I realized in these past 2 episodes is Tisha has not found her words. It's one thing to have a voice. It's almost like a little baby. When a little child begins to learn how to utilize their mouth and produce sound, they know what they want, they see it, they can identify what they want, but they don't have the words to fully express themselves. So they act out in emotions. Yes, Kevin. And that's exactly what we saw from Tisha. She was having a full on tantrum at this party, ruining Nell's party. There's a clip that's in the preview, in the trailer, where she's actually, Nell had to snatch her hand off of her. Tisha was handsy. Remember, I showed y'all last week how Tisha was handsy with several people at this party, and it's like, girl, what is going on? What's gotten into you, girl? Just a reminder. Remember, she put her hands on Mel. Uh-uh. Mel was like, no, 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 we're not gonna do that. Remember, she had her hands on Trisha. Trisha seems like the type that will give it to her, and you see all those muscles. Girl, get your hands off. But Tisha was doing too much of this. It was shot, 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 shots. And she's now wanting to deny that she had liquid courage. This is just me. No, it's not, Tisha. We've been with you long enough. You've been in our houses, in our bedrooms, and in our living rooms long enough for us to know what your personality gives, and it doesn't give this. This is the first time we've seen you this inebriated, and this is also the first time that we've seen you act out in this manner, and it's not attractive, Tisha. I was listening to her, and she was, the only time it appeared that she was able to articulate her feelings was when she sat down with Nell. Now, with that being stated, why are you fussing at Nell and complaining that Nell shouldn't have told the fans that beep beep toot toot, you can log on in. The link is in the chat. Hold on just a moment. Yeah, so the link is in the chat if you'd like to come up this evening. It's you and I and friends. It's the Alabama Church Girl and Friends. By the way, did y'all check out that concert with Kendrick? Oh my God. Oh, mind blowing. Happy belated Juneteenth to everyone. But yeah, it's the Alabama Church Girl and Friends, like Kendrick, Ken and Friends, okay? So anywho, so I noticed that Tisha found her words when she sat down at the bar with Nell. Nell was able to help bring it out of her. What is actually going on with you? Nell told her, she said, I know it's not the alcohol. Yes, Pacino, yes. I have shared it a plethora of times because it was just that good. But Nell said, I've drank with Tisha before, and I know you can hold your liquor. So beep beep toot toot. Hey,
Hi.
all right, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome my hometown friend, homegirl, Stephanie, to the platform on this evening. Stephanie called earlier and she was like, girl, what we talking about? We got to talk about these love and marriage. Now you traveling. You know I like for you to travel safely. Are we good? Yeah,
Yes,
you can turn the camera off if
I'm
you need
traveling safely. I'm putting the phone down.
to. Okay, so you can turn the camera off if you need to, because we're upside
Okay.
down now. We're topsy turvy.
How do I do that? There we go.
Okay, so yeah, Nell was able to pull out of Tisha her words, and Tisha was able to say, I've been seen as the passive one. I've been allowing people to talk about me for years and I'm tired of it. And now I'm learning to use my voice and stand up for myself. That's fine, but you got to do it. There's a decorum here that you need to have in doing so. And at my party is not the right timing. Time and place, Tisha. Time and place, do's and don'ts. So, Stephanie, we were sharing earlier, and I just wanted you to share a little bit. Kevin says, to be honest, Nell was caught in a lie, hence why Nell made mention of needing a drink after talking with Tisha. I agree, but at the same time, Nell would I wouldn't say a lie, but Nell was trying to play the fence. The conversation that she was mentioning or she was referring to was Nell did an interview and someone asked her about her relationship with Tisha. And instead of saying that she and Tisha were building a friendship, Nell says that she's Tisha's mentor. Tisha did not appreciate that. It was almost like she felt she had been sunned. So in Tisha's face, Nell okay, Kevin. You know, I'm trying to be gentle with everyone. I really, really am. But in Tisha's face, she was trying to play it down and walk it back as if, well, you just said that I was everybody's mentor. To be honest, I don't think there's a problem with Nell being the mentor of the group. What do you think, Stephanie?
I think Nell is the mentor as she is the older person and she's been mentoring what Martell and her ex-wife, his ex-wife. So Mel, by Nell saying that, I don't think it was inappropriate for her to say that she was the mentor, because they do come to her for advice, and that is one of Nell's professions
Yeah,
as
exactly.
a mentor. So just because she didn't use the word "we are friends," I mean, the relationship has already been established. So don't be offended because she's saying she's a mentor to you. She's both.
I think so too. And that's why, I didn't have a problem with her saying it. Kevin says it was an all out, right out lie. So, hey, some people's perspectives is going to be different, and that's okay. That's okay. We appreciate and we actually encourage everyone to share your perspective, and we're all right with that. But I was like, okay, Tisha, this is too much. You're doing too much. Then we move over to Tisha at home. Now I want to know from you, Stephanie. These are my
Mm.
thoughts, Kevin and Pacino. These are my thoughts. Y'all can tell me if you see it or if you don't. But the way Marceau showed up at the house that Tisha was in, it was given to me that they are separated and this is Tisha's house
Yes.
that Marceau is visiting. What y'all
The
think?
way he left and he said, "Bye, Tish." Like,
Yes.
what? Wait a minute. Can I at least get a hug or a kiss on the forehead or something? Bye,
Even
Tish. That was like you was talking to your ex, the mother of your children instead of
now,
your wife.
right.
I noticed that too.
All right, Kevin, we can finally agree on something. Yes, Kevin says, yes, I am correct. Pacino said it wouldn't surprise her. And then Kevin also says that Nell made mention of being a mentor to Tisha because she saw the social media fans were on her. That is the reason why she changed friend to mentor. And that's sad. We're gonna talk about them the fans in the end, because I got some things to say. But yes, Kevin, Pacino, Stephanie, it was almost like, okay, that's Tisha's house that Marceau was visiting. Even the way he came in, and she was like, he was like, she asked, where you coming from? And then he says, did you make any coffee? Did you make me some coffee? And she was like, no, I made me some coffee. He was like, could you make me some coffee? It was
Right.
real sassy. Blind visionary. Hey, my love. So good to see you. She said, I'm late, but I'm here. Y'all make me excited. You really do. So yeah, I was like, okay, this is weird. This is a weird energy here. But in that conversation, let me go up here. This is what I realized. Tisha is lacking in the emotional intelligence department. We talked about last week how we believe Tisha she's an intelligent woman. She's a book smart woman. But when it comes to emotional intelligence, I think that we got some work to do. I could tell that her and Marceau have been doing some counseling together, but maybe she needs to have some individual counseling as well. Because something is going on that it appears to me she is stuck in a teenage girl
I
mindset.
was just gonna say that. I was gonna say she's like a 15-year-old high school girl with
Yes,
her emotions all over the place.
yes. And people love to hate on the male characters on this show just because we know that they are misogynistic. But I will say I'm able to be objective in my point of view. Even though these are misogynistic men, I'm going to say they're right when they're right. And in this conversation, for me, Marcel told her right. What do
Yes,
you think?
but in Tisha's defense, she did mention earlier in the episodes that she was picked on because of her speech. So she probably never really voiced her emotions as a child, and she's just not learning how to voice her emotions.
But that's all the more reason she needs to do some individual counseling because she has the resources. You on
She
the TV
does. Nail.
show. Say that again.
Nail, her mentor.
You got mentors all around you. There are doctors available all around you. I'm sure you got the money for it. Your insurance should cover it. You get at least 12 of them appointments.
Right.
um, Kevin says, yes, individual therapy is needed. Pacino says, for me, Tisha would be exhausting to deal with. Yes. And I feel like maybe that's why she's struggling in building and developing her relationships with the females on this show. I'm almost to the point to where I believe, oh, y'all, give me some grace on this, okay? I would like to see the majority of these characters on the show remain. But I feel like it would benefit Tisha if she took a season off and just took care of Tisha. If her and Marceau are separated, maybe they need to use that separation like what's the girl Ashley and her husband on Potomac. They got separated and he decided I'm not going to be on the show anymore. Maybe Tisha needs to take a step back and take care of Tisha, because I'm feeling as though if Tisha continues to come back for another season, the audience is so brutal to Tisha, and the relationships that she has on the cast are not productive for her. It could send her into a tailspin, and I'm
Yeah.
concerned
Men-
because mental health
a
matters.
mental demise.
Yeah. Pacino says, I can agree with that. Yes, Kevin, Ashley Darby, forehead, as they like to call her. um, my good girlfriend Candace likes to call her. um, but yeah, I feel like Tisha needs to take a step back, take care of herself, get herself to full capacity before she comes back onto the national platform like this. Um, I don't want to stay too long on this, but um emotional intelligence, I have the definition on the screen. It's the awareness of your emotions. You know that you are experiencing emotion, but you also know how to articulate it and put it into words and express it in a manner where the messenger on the other side, or the person that you are delivering the message to, is able to receive it. They might not respond in the way that you want, but at least you have gotten it out and expressed yourself in a manner to where it's clear to them, this is how I feel. You don't have to be abrasive, you don't have to run to anger. And that's what I see when I notice people who are not mature in their emotions. I see them run to anger, frustration, tantrums, and they act out more than anything. They hit things, hit people, because they don't know how to use their words to express themselves. They don't know how to come to a calm resolve. And in this conversation in Tisha's kitchen, that's what I saw, exactly what I saw her do. Marceau did not bring did I didn't see Marceau correct her at the party. Did you?
No, I didn't see that either. So I
But
don't know where that comes from.
right, now they're in the confines of her kitchen and she's crying because she feels embarrassed that he's correcting her in front of people in the public. What do you mean? You're in your kitchen and nobody's there but you and him. Are you saying that you don't want to be corrected on TV? All the more reason you should step back. Yes, Pacino, that was her kitchen. That was not his kitchen. Now he did put it together for her. We did see him doing the construction a season or two ago, but that's her kitchen. That's why she had to make some coffee for him in her kitchen. Kevin said, no, Tisha does not take accountability. And that's exactly what Marceau said. That, well, I will say this. Tisha asked for Marceau's feedback. He reluctantly gave her feedback saying, hey, I think we need to work on accountability. Then she says, well, I don't want to talk about accountability right now. I don't want to talk about accountability. And then he pulled back. Okay, we don't have to talk about it right now. Then she goes right back to say, well, why do you think I need to take accountability? Girl, make up your mind. This is madness. Did you see that? Or was it just me? I felt like she just bouncing back and forth. This is enough to make somebody walk out on you. Hey, Miss Dogan, to you. Hey, friend, I'm just here to catch that contagious laugh. Hopefully we can get you some in, Miss Dogan. But yes, I was like, girl, you bouncing back and forth. You don't know what you want. You tell him, don't give me no feedback, and then you say, now I want to know what you mean by this accountability thing. Then you don't want to hear him. You want to start crying. You raising your voice into this high pitched sound, and Marcel, you do this to me all the time, and Marcel says that your automatic response is defense. And I felt like the crying, the tears, the antics, those were all defense mechanisms to get him to stop talking. Miss Dogan said she saw it. Tisha, I want to help you, girl, but you need help. And I don't think I got the type of help that you need. I want to see you get the help that you need, but I don't think I got the type of help you need. All right, so I'm gonna get off Tisha because I don't want her to feel like I'm badgering her. I'm not. I love you. I want to see everybody on this show win. You know why? Because they from Alabama. Yes, Alabama. So we move on over to a scene with the men. You got Courtney, Chris, and Martell. They meet up. And y'all, I don't know about y'all, but to me, it appears that there is a mission to exile Martell from the show. I don't know who's behind the mission. I have an idea, but I'm not going to make any assumptions. But of course, we know that because of the situation with him and the Infamous, they are not filming together, which that's fine. It appears to me, you tell me if you see it differently, but it appears to me that y'all, please excuse me. We're here on Friday instead of Thursday because I was diagnosed with strep throat this week. So I'm still having a little bit of ickiness in the throat. So I apologize for coughing. Kevin says Tisha wants everyone to agree with her demeanor. She does. That's the real teenage like. Ms. Dogan said, hey friend, I'm just here for the contagious left. Okay. Yes, she saw it. And amen. Here to see all my people win. Absolutely. Interesting. I feel the opposite. I think production is trying hard to create scenes for him. Okay. Yes, Pacino. I think production is trying to keep him. And that's what I was about to get to. We here. I think we're here. I think production wants to keep him. I think Carlos definitely see value in keeping Martell. He is good TV. I have to say that. Oh wow, hope you feel better soon. Thank you, Blind Visionary. But there's a mission maybe coming from the cast. I don't know, to exile him. Maybe coming from one or two people on the cast, or maybe just one. Because we know that him and his ex-wife are not filming together. That's cool. That's understood. I think, and like I said, you can correct me and put a difference of opinion if you feel differently. I think the majority of the cast enjoys being around Martell. I also think that they prefer the ex-husband over the ex-wife. Regina says, I don't think he's good TV at this point. I can see that. I know that personally, I wouldn't personally want to engage in a friendship with him because I know how he has treated his ex or his interpersonal relationships. I would not personally. But as far as bringing entertainment to the TV, that's why I say he's good for TV. When he gets with those guys, it's funny, it's entertaining. We get a lot of juicy tidbits to talk about. So that's why I say he's good for TV. Pacino said, I think that cast is tired of the drama of both Mel and Till. Yes, absolutely. But it seems as though, you remember we talked about back here, let me go back over here. A couple of episodes ago, there was a question on the table of pick a side. And it came from the infamous. It's about time that y'all pick a side. Y'all remember that? And I feel these sit downs that the infamous has been having with the cast has been basically a pick a side type of sit down conversation. And if you don't pick me, you forgot that I'm the EP. That's what I see. You can tell me if you see it differently, but that's what I see. So, yes, we're getting there, Kevin. You know I like to slow roll it. But so this conversation with the guys, he had Chris. Oh, Stephanie's back. We had Chris. Welcome back, girlfriend. We had Chris, Courtney, and Martell in the park. We know that Chris has already had some run-ins with Martell where Chris has had to say, man, keep my wife's name out your mouth. Leave him alone. Don't be calling her no side chick. Kevin says Martell made a few strays this episode. Kevin, you just be jumping out there ahead of me. But yes, so Kevin, Courtney, I have not seen Courtney have any issues with Martell, but I could see based on the comment Courtney made about Maurice, why he don't care for Maurice, I could see Courtney not really being a fan of Martell. But for this scene in this episode, they all out here getting along. And it gets cold in Alabama, but not that cold. So they're out here in the cold air throwing the football around and talking, shoot the breeze. And they're trying to figure out, hey, maybe, I don't know if the production had told them at this point or hasn't made it explicitly clear, but they're asking and trying to figure out, hey, are you not filming with Mel? And he's like, well, he made a comment that I did not agree with. Well, we can be in the same room together and have no problems. There's been plenty of times. No, Martell, I don't think so. Nope. I don't think so. I do feel that it's best that they do not film together. They're not in the same room together. It makes it worse. The pressure is getting worse when they get in the room together, and it runs all of us into headache zone. So no, let's not do that. But the cast are having these events and they're having these invites and they're having to make a decision on who I want to invite. Remember, Nell chose not to invite Martell to her event. She wanted Melody there, which was cool. She probably, after Tisha's outburst, she probably was like, shoot, I should have invited Martell. He would have acted better than Tisha. But, nonetheless, the next invite that's coming up is Courtney and Stormy have already extended the invitation to Martell to participate in their gala. So that has to be discussed. That has to come about. They got to give Mel the heads up, right? So let's move on over here to this conversation with Mel and Stormy. Stormy sits down, goes to have sushi with Melody to give her a heads up. The, we're having this gala come up. We've already invited Martell to participate as one of our models. What did y'all think about this conversation? It was a lot going on in this conversation to me. First of all, the way Mel showed up and dressed up. I can tell from different scenes who Mel respects and who she does not. What do you think? Steph? This was my favorite scene of the episode. Mine too. Well, I would say this one and the one with Marceau. I feel like Stormy and Marceau are probably the only two cast members that she has an ounce of respect for. The rest of them, they can go to hell. Stephanie, I'm looking for you right here because you got some backstory that you can add to this conversation, homegirl.
Wait, I missed something. I'm sorry. I was tending to my goddaughter real quick. What did I
Okay.
miss? A little snippet.
Yeah, how Mel feels about her cast. I feel that they're only two cast members that she probably has an ounce of respect for are probably Stormy and Marceau.
I'm in between. I'm on the fence about how I feel about Mel. I mean, yeah, Melody. I don't know. She kind of she gives me the vibes of you start stuff, but you kind of try to make it seem like you're not starting stuff, and you try to make yourself look good for everybody on the camera. But behind the scenes, what are you really doing?
You better talk that talk. All right. So
What
we
are
were
what are
talking
we
earlier.
really doing?
Now listen, let me tell the audience. Stephanie and I grew up in the same home church. So Stephanie understands what kind of church girl I really am. The Pentecostal holy rollers that wore denim skirts to the floor and kid sneakers and t-shirts. Or sometimes with button down shirts because our sleeves on our shirt were not supposed to come above our elbow. Come to find out, Stephanie, you want to tell them or you want me to tell
Oh
them?
yes. So the melody that I remember growing up was the melody that wore the long blue jean skirts with no split in it.
Mm-hmm.
And she would go to the prison and play the piano and sing, and she was just the humblest spirit. But this 360, I don't know, not a 360. That means you did a 180. She did a
Yeah.
180. She didn't turn back around. That blue jean skirt.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's not the same person. This
So
ain't the same person.
I will say this, Steph. She reminds me of somebody I know very well and you know very well. They're in my family. And guess what? They happen to live in the Huntsville area. That are pretty passive aggressive. They smile and talk a good God talk in your face, but behind your back, they really are plotting on you. That's
Mm,
that's what Mel reminds me of.
mm.
I
Oh,
know. I'm sorry. I'm just honest. I'm brutally and bluntly honest.
okay. All right. On
Yeah.
that note. Hmm.
Yeah. So first thing is in this conversation, Pacino. So let's go through it since this is one of your favorite scenes in this episode. First thing is Stormy gives her thoughts on Sonny and Moses. Because remember, Stormy was there at the reality with the king. I told y'all Stormy was fine. She was sexy. I was like, God dog, Stormy, you lost some weight and you are out here, girl, doing it. Okay, I got an amen. Thank you, Miss Dogan. So yeah, she gives her thoughts on Sonny and Moses. And she's like, listen, I ain't gonna say nothing against their love. They probably are in love, but This lady was talking as if she been wanted this man, and now she's like, aha, I got him. And Mel, they laugh about that. All right. Then Mel brings up the fight between Tisha and Nell. And Stormy, she talks about how how Tisha was after Stormy as well. And she was like, y'all were going back and forth. Stormy said, oh, she was going back and forth with herself. That's an internal struggle. I had nothing to do with that. All I did was send her an invitation as an olive branch. And she is the one that was going off like a little chihuahua, a childish chihuahua. Y'all, I died. This is why I told y'all I feel like Stormy is my favorite this season, because Stormy seems real. She's authentic. She's a girl about her business. She looks good. She's trying to get herself and her family to the place that she wants it to be. And she's just real. She's a good girlfriend that I would love to hang out with. Yes. Kevin says that scene with Stormy and Mel meeting up at the restaurant was a bona fide fake. Why do you say that? I felt like Stormy showed up in this scene very real and natural. Stormy felt natural to me. The way she was letting go, like she was having her little cocktail maybe, but you notice her tongue was a little free. She was busting them curse words down. I heard her say the F word and the MF word. Yes, Stephanie said Mel was the instigator in this scene. Yes, she was, because she was bringing up the stuff. Stormy didn't bring up this stuff. Stephanie, you put that in the private chat, by the way. Stormy was not talking about these folks, but Mel was. She was playing a little producer. She was playing producer in this scene. So they are talking, and then Stormy gives Mel the heads up about Martell coming to or participating in her gala. So this is where it gets real dicey to me when it comes to Mel's actions, their interactions. At first, it was like they were bantering back and forth like good girlfriends do, and it felt real authentic. It felt as if Mel was producing a little bit. Let's agree to disagree. We can do that. We're always gonna be friends. But when Stormy said, listen, I know y'all got something going on. I don't want to get in between it, but I want to give you a heads up. Heads up says that I'm giving you an alert and preparing you that I've already asked Martell to participate in our Lovers and Friends gala. And Mel, then her body language changed. Did y'all notice that? So Mel crosses her arms. Then the sound of her voice changes. Oh, you did. Did you notice
Very
that?
fake. Yes.
That's when it became fake to me, Kevin. She was like, she made the statement. She said, she crossed her arms and she said, work it how you need to. And that to me was the passive aggressiveness that said basically was like, okay, you work it how you need to, but don't forget I got the EP card. That to me says that this is probably going to be the exact moment that Mel will use to have an issue with Stormy. Now they were laughing and kikiing up until she said, I invited Martell to participate. Then
Mm-hmm.
she was professional and said, well, where Martell is, I'm not gonna be. Remember, she's already been going and doing sit downs with everybody else on the cast about why you didn't come to my this, why you didn't do this. She's already been checking people. And now Stormy got the audacity to tell me that you chose him over me. Yes, Pacino, we will see. I'm saying this is my perspective. I could be wrong, but we will see. Why even invite Mel? I think it was supposed to be an all cast event. Now, backstory, there are some other content creators that have been going out here trying to figure out the timeline and this and that and the other. And it does appear, because we got some good private eyes in the content creating sector. It does appear that it was probably supposed to be an all cast event, and then maybe the cast got the notice that these two can't film together or be in the same room. I think I missed somebody's comment. Yeah. So you invite Mel, yet you already have Martell in this event. That was whack of Stormy. I don't think it was whack. I feel like she was supposed to invite Mel. And she probably had already offered that position to Martell before she knew that they can't be together. That's what it appeared to me. The entire cast already knows not to invite both to an event, yet you do it anyway. Hence, you can keep Stormy over there. I don't know. Like you said, we're gonna agree to disagree. Hey there, Vignesh. All right, so Ms. Dogan says, yeah, I don't think their camaraderie will last. It wasn't Stormy. I wasn't a Stormy fan initially. She was just too ghetto, LOL. But she has grown on me. And she's not as refined. But at the same time, I have to appreciate a woman's hustle. And Stormy is doing her big one. Y'all know we celebrated last week her becoming the very first content creator to make $1 million in one single episode on her TikTok live. So I got respect for that. And then she comes to this platform with a bright and positive spirit. I have to enjoy that, even though she's not as refined as, my girlfriend, me and my girlfriends are. I still have appreciation for it. Ms. Dugan says, baby, they need to be getting paid for their private eye services because they go hard. Yes. I think YouTube is paying them because that's the only way I'm going to find out this information because I'm not going snooping. Baby, open your full hair. You like it? Now, I just threw this thing on, right? Big niche. I got locks for real, but sometimes I want to look different. So, But yeah, I'm missing somebody. Here we go. They have to film these scenes for content. Yeah. Pacino, they have to film these scenes for content. Yes, they have to. And the way one of the content creators said, or the way they put it out was as if, like I said, the cast didn't know at the time that the invitation went out. Mel had already, she was supposed to participate in another event, but then she canceled on that event because she had an all cast filming on the day of Stormy's event, but then found out that Martell was already participating, so she didn't go to either event. That's the way one of the content creators has put it out. So I think it really was a timeline of communication issue. Ms. Dugan says you should invite both and they make the decision if they can come or not. You can't exclude Martell from everything. And that's where I feel there is a mission to exile him. And that passive aggressiveness, like, oh, so you decided to invite him. You should have never done that. That was the energy that I saw in that moment. When them crossing of the arms and then the high pitched voice, she did that change of the voice, the same thing Tisha likes to do. Miss Dogan said, Lord, these millimeters, LOL. Listen, we're going to have to talk about the millimeters. Y'all, there's a whole lot going on. Miss Pacino says, I'm not sure that production had a policy about Mel and Tail at that time. Well, we don't know when it happened. I don't know when it happened, but somewhere in that time frame is when the cast found out they can't be together. It was probably at Nell's party. Y'all, I'm sorry, my mouth is so dry. I have to have something. Excuse me, and I'm dripping cranberry juice all over me. Agreed, Pacino. Ms. Dogan says, This just came about recently after the issue. Okay. Yeah. There were non-millimeter CC content creators that did detective work also. I can't tell the difference between the two. I just know everybody is fussing and fighting, and it's not even cute. Yes, love the hair. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Um, and then Mel just showing out. What is Martell going to do to her in a public place? Stop already, Mello. You know, I'm over their drama. I'm sick of it now. It's like it becomes draining after so much. So that's why I don't want to see them in the same scene anymore. That text issue, whew, I don't want to even hear about it no more. We know that Martell has been ordered not to contact Melody for 12 months. Okay. I didn't know that, but thank you for sharing. Stephanie, did you want to share
Yes.
some more about your history and knowledge of Melody?
I don't think I have any more to besides her mom. I mean, her mom is sweet, and she's was one of my dear friends, best friend. But other than that, I know she was raised well because Miss Vanessa is a very humble woman herself. But I don't
She's
have any other
drop
history.
dead gorgeous.
Yes, she is.
Vignesh, can you pull your camera up just for a moment so I can see that you're a real person? We have one more in the green room. Ms. Dogan says they can ignore each other. Mel loves to ignore Tail. You think? Because somehow they always tend to get into this combative conversation. Remember when they were just in Houston? Then when they were in Vegas, it got real ugly in Vegas. But just last season in Houston, it was contentious. It became this. And Martell wanted to make sure everybody knows that she had a side dude. Ms. Dogan says Huntsville is not that darn big. I'm sure they could possibly end up in the same place. Absolutely. Thanks for the background info, Stephanie. Um, Miss Dogan says, yes, Miss Vanessa does seem sweet, but nice, nasty, just like Mel. Smile in your face all the while. They backstabbing.
Whoa! Oh. Mm-mm.
Miss Dogan going in, baby. She said that's because Tell wanted to start something. Now it's a court order that Tell can't talk to Mel. Okay, cool beans. Vignesh, I need to see your face before I can bring you up, babe. Um, yeah, so with all that being stated, I feel like there is a mission to exile Martell. Now we're gonna move on because there was more to this episode. One of you mentioned that you think that production is trying to keep Martell, and I agree with you. I think that's why we ended up seeing Martell being trained by Trisha. Over here, I call Trisha Jane. Her man is Tarzan. They are Tarzan and Jane. So, Pacino says, I'm going with Stephanie's assessment. Amen. Stephanie, you hear that?
Yes, accurate. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, so we end up with Martell being trained by Trisha in the gym. And as soon as he walk in, baby, he's like, whoo, he already had to hold his feelings back and make sure his pressure didn't rise. Because Trisha had them little shorts on, and them cheeks were cheeking, and them thighs were thighin'. He looked at her like, oh, I see a 2-piece and a biscuit. And I'm ready to eat. He even put his hand in his head, like, okay, calm down, man, calm down.
Like, am I gonna make it through training?
Right. You see, both of them walked away saying, we ain't never gonna train with each other again. Trisha said, I cannot do Martell again. And Martell said, I can't train with a woman. I ain't never did this with a woman before. I can't do that again. I don't know how much training actually went on, but a whole lot of talking went on. So, Stephanie, let me ask you this. Since we were on the topic of Miss Van, it was rumored seasons ago that Miss Van had a side piece. That it was one of the
The
Scots.
brothers. Yeah.
All right. So then Miss Dogan said, I think Trish and Ken are the cutest couple. Woo. Trish got a whole lot going on. All right, so we got Van and one of the Scott brothers allegedly is her side piece. Then we had Nell and Chris. It's alleged that Nell was Chris's side piece before he got divorced.
Mm-hmm.
All right, then we got Martell and Melody. They were married, and Coleslaw was Martell's side piece. All right, we up to 3 couples already. Miss
Don't
Dogan,
forget about the one that was on last season, but they're not the light skinned one with the
um,
baseball player husband.
Tiffany and Lou.
Yeah, it was rumored that they had some cheating going on too.
Oh, that Tiffany was a side piece.
Not a side piece, but Lou was cheating on Tiffany.
What?
That was
Not
rumored
Lou.
too. But
Okay.
now they off the show, so they don't talk about it no more.
Okay. All right, that's 4. But Pacino says Martell is the only one with proof of cheating. Huntsville down with the side pieces, ain't it? Yes, Miss Dogan. I guess it's nothing better to do. It's just that small. Yes, Miss Dogan. That's what I thought. It was Tiffany that cheated. She cheated on the husband before Lou.
But then at the end of the episode, they started talking about all
Lou.
their business and what Lou is doing.
Okay. So Miss Dogan said
We have to
Tiffany
go back.
admitted to cheating. Okay. I remember Tiffany admitting to cheat in her first marriage. So, okay. All right. So we're up to 4. All right. So then who else is on this show? Oh, yeah. It's alleged that Kimmy was Maurice's side piece before he got married. It's alleged that Marceau has side pieces.
25.
Yeah, he got 20 girlfriends that he pays to keep quiet.
Mm.
And here we go this season with this new couple, Tarzan and Jane. And Tarzan, Martell is asking Jane, is Tarzan your side piece? And she said no. Now, what do y'all say? What say y'all? Because I put the definition of side piece up on the screen. A person that you're dating or having sex with, but you're in a relationship with somebody else. So she technically said, I'm still married to somebody else, but he my man and we live together. And I'm sure they ain't just sleeping in the bed spooning.
I don't know, because Jane don't seem like she's confrontational. So she probably, I don't know her ex-husband's relationship. She might be afraid to approach him, or she has already approached him and he's, don't want to sign the papers. So she's just moved on from that marriage. Like she said, it's just a document at this point.
Okay, Ms.
And he
Dogan.
refuses to sign.
Ms. Dogan says that Tarzan is definitely a side piece. Miss Pacino says she don't care. Ms. Dogan said it's still a side piece. A side piece is a side piece is a side piece. Yes, Ms. Dogan. But here's the thing. We talked about double standards before. Trish has said that she has not even attempted to file paperwork to get divorced. So clearly, if you never even, if I'm done with the relationship, I'm gonna tell you this, Stephanie, you know how my situation went down.
Right.
I was willing to remain in the marriage, and I was in the marriage for over a year. We were separate. We lived in separate cities, and I had this little bitty baby, and I was willing to remain in the marriage as long as he did right by me and my baby. When I asked that man to move to our city so he could help me take care of the child, and he was like, I ain't leaving my job. At that point, I was done. And I immediately found a way to go file these papers. I was Usher Raymond. I'm ready to go file these papers. I was. I'm serious. Trisha Jane, whatever her name is, she must have not come to that moment where she is very clear that she wants to divorce this man.
I don't think she's clear about that she wants to marry this new man.
I don't think so either.
She's still questioning. She's still questioning the fact whether or not she want to be married or keep him, as y'all say, the side piece.
Pacino says, "Where's the proof?" Now with Trisha, the proof is in the on the TV. She said it. Now, all them other people, I specifically said allegedly. I said allegedly for a reason because I don't know these people. I'm just going by what they showing us and talking about on this TV. I don't know these people. But Trisha has said it. She told Martell in the gym, technically I'm still married. We still have a legally binding piece of paper called a marriage contract. But yes, this is my man. So Martell has said, "Oh, so you got a side piece?" And she's like, "No, I don't have a side piece." Like, girl, you just spelled it out for us that's your side piece. But I feel like she wants to make light of it because in our society, we do have a double standard and we do abuse women harshly, more harshly than men are when it comes to this whole side piece conversation. What do you think, Steph?
I missed it. So you think it's a double standard that,
That
and
Tia
she's
is
been
trying
treated
to smooth
harshly?
it over because she don't want to be judged more harshly. Because in our society, yes, we do judge women more harshly than we do men.
True. She's trying to keep explaining herself why she's still married and not divorced with this man. I believe she don't want to be judged.
Right. Because she even tells Martell in this conversation that at Nell's party, Melody was grilling her. And he was like, "You should have grilled her back." It was like he was giving her production tips.
But what did that even have to do with? I don't think Melody was grilling her though. She was just asking a question. Are you
If she
still
did, we
married?
didn't see it. Right. If she did, we didn't see it.
I don't think it was a grilling. She just asked a valid question. Are you still married?
Right.
And do you have a side man?
Yeah. And you
What
basically
everybody else has asked.
right. And you told us, "Hey, yeah, I'm technically married, but my man over there, he walked in with me over there."
She tried to make it seem like Melody was asking because Martell, the
Mhm.
husband situation, but she wasn't coming at you like that to say Martell is still my man.
But then, I believe I'm under the impression, Stephanie. You can tell me if you think differently. That just about every woman on this show has some insecurities when it comes to their man. Cause just about every man on the show is very misogynistic and don't seem like they respect their relationship enough to be faithful in it.
All except Kimmy and Maurice.
You, ooh, okay. I think Maurice is tiptoeing because remember Maurice got caught busted in a lie saying he wasn't on the guys trip with them. What they call them, the linebackers.
Oh yeah,
And then Marceau put the picture up.
true.
All right, so let me
But he
read
don't give me those vibes though.
Yeah, he tried not to, but Marcel is. I mean, Maurice is the same one that told his wife that was going through chemo that he had to have sex every day.
Okay, I'm gonna dismiss myself. You got a point. You got a point. You got a point.
I don't know why we do that in our culture. But we do. It took me 5 years to get a divorce from someone I stayed with a year and a half. Yes, similar. Like Miss Wanda, LOL. She got a husband and a boyfriend. Maybe it's the Alabama thing. Let us know, ACG. Look, I don't fit that rule. There's a lot of people who do, but I don't fit in that category. Okay. Kimmy is very insecure about Maurice, in my opinion, says Miss Pacino. Kevin says, huh? Kevin, what are you hawing to? Which part did you not agree with or did not understand? Pacino Rule says Kimmy apologized to Maurice for getting sick. Right. She acted like it was her fault that she was sick and she couldn't service her man with her goodies. Because he acted like I got to have it, and if you don't give it to me, I'm gonna go get it from someone else. That was a big scandal last season, girl. You must have working hard then.
I believe I was. Now I remember the part where they went in the park and he said he needed sex every day. And she started going to counseling, some sex counselor, and
Yes,
but
which was just absolutely asinine. But yeah, so with all that being said, Martell then goes and starts blowing up the spot. Like I said before, it appears to me that these cast members are more fond of Martell than they are Melody. It's almost like the relationship with Melody is a boss relationship, boss and employee relationship. But the relationship with Martell is that's my friend, right? So Martell blows up the spot with Marceau because he begins to ask Trisha. He begins to ask Trisha about how long, who she's known the longest. And she says Marceau. He said, did you know him when he was at Monaco, which was the movie theater? And he starts giving backstory on Marceau's indiscretions at the previous employment. Martell, you only have a few people on this cast who are willing to film with you right now. Now you're out here blowing up the spot. You ain't gonna have nobody after a while, and you're gonna exile yourself. What do you think, Stephanie?
yeah, he working on the X side because he didn't have to divulge that information.
At all.
He could have kept quiet about that.
Kevin says, "Han to the co-host with the black screen." All right, Kevin. So let me explain. It looks like maybe you popped in and out. The co-host with the black screen is my girlfriend Stephanie. She's from my hometown, my home church. Stephanie is driving right now. That's why she has a black screen. And I'd rather for her to drive safely than to be trying to, show her face on the screen and get into an accident. So that's what it is. He said, "Han to the co-host caller." Okay. That is the stray I was talking about earlier. Yes, and that's you. You were just a little bit ahead of me, but yes, I noticed it. I definitely noticed it, and I was like, "Listen, Martell, you're not. This is where, oh, Jesus, his intelligence level. I need to know what is his IQ, because it can't be too high." um. Pacino says we need receipts, Martell. Now I will say this, Pacino, him saying it on the screen was not the first time that I heard that. Okay, I live in Alabama. I work in the Huntsville area. That's not the first time I heard that. Okay. Kevin says hi, Stephanie.
Hi, Kevin.
So yeah, I was like, Martell, you making dumb moves out here. You supposed to be making money moves, and if it ain't making dollars, it's not making sense. And it don't make sense to me how you gonna mess up your money like this. Because if nobody wants to film with you, you get paid per episode. Come on now, come on. No matter how much the producers want to keep you, you gonna force their hand, making stupid moves like this. Blind Visionary says Martell has always wanted to take the guys down when he went down, but their wives would not Believe him. So let me say this. I felt like when Martell and Melody were trying to make amends and trying to work out their relationship, I felt they were on a mission together to take the other couples down. Remember, Marceau even mentioned that in his conversation in Tisha's kitchen, that everybody else that's come against them have gone down themselves. But I felt like him and Melody were on a mission together to take the other couples down. They wanted to tell everybody else's business after their business was on display, that tit for tat. After they divorced, I felt like Martell was done with that tit for tat because these are still his boys. They're still his friends. You know, however toxic they are, they're still friends. But I did feel like Melody was still there. Her mindset was still there. And that's where the harshness towards Tisha and Marceau was coming from. But now it seems like Martell then doubled back and picked up the mission too. And he is almost as if he feels like, well, nobody else wants to film with me, so now it's my turn to take everybody down. And that's just not smart. That's the way I see it. Y'all can, tell me what if it's wrong. Let's flush this out together. Pacino says the wives believe him, but they're going to hang on to their marriages for dear life. And we said this last week, Pacino, especially when it comes to Tisha and Marceau. It feels to me as if Tisha and Marceau have decided we're going to be married. We're not going to get a divorce. Tisha, you got your house. Marceau, you got your apartment. Remember, Marceau was trying to take the son with him. And Tisha was like, no, they're my kids. All my kids coming with me. Remember that last season? Marceau said that me and my son can sleep over here at this house and you and the daughters can sleep. And she was like, no, them all my kids. They coming with me. Remember that, y'all?
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like they have decided Tisha is not going to allow any of the public to make her feel a way about her marriage. She's going to stick by her man. That's my man, my man, my man. And Marceau is doing a better job of hiding whatever he needs to hide. That's the way I see it. What do you think, Stephanie?
I agree.
And I'm okay with that because you get to define your contract. I don't
Right. So speaking of contracts, let's go to Melody. So you
Okay.
mentioned Martell and making money moves and being exiled off the show. Do you think that by Melody, she withdrew from everybody and cut off her phone and all this other stuff? So do you think she was walking her way out the door, but now she's coming back around trying to make amends with everybody?
Yes.
She's talking to Tisha now again. You think she was almost off the show at
I
one point?
so but here's where it gets a little strange for me. Yes, I agree with you that she was, she still don't like none of them. Not for real. She still don't like any of the people on this
She just
cast.
faking the funk.
She faking the funk to try to have somebody to film with. And I feel like she's playing up the boss card so that they recognize that you could say the wrong thing and not pick me and you could be off the show.
Mm.
That move she did with Kiki, she basically told Kiki, thank you for your services.
Yep, she did.
And it seems to me every other meetup that she's had was basically, I could make you disappear.
Mm-hmm.
The way she questions them, the tone of voice that she has with them. We about to jump over here to her and Marceau. But yeah, that's the way it appears to me. She's almost, as it seems to me, as
Like
if
this is her show and she runs it.
exactly.
Like
And
she's the
I want to
producer.
know from my good friend Carlos, are you gonna let this happen? Because in the end, if that's the way it's gonna be run, it's gonna ruin the show. Let me get to some of these comments because I don't want too many to pile up on me. Kevin says Tisha is the modern day Jolene. Have y'all heard the Beyonce version of Jolene? Well, she says I'm a Creole Banshee. Don't forget that I'm a Creole Banshee B from New Orleans. Yeah, Tisha might be that. About her man, her man, her man. um, Mel is the EP. I don't think she's going anywhere, but we could do without her. I totally agree, Miss Dugan, because and this is what I the reason why I feel that way. Mel is similar to Kimmy. Mel is doing a lot of good exploits in the city and in the Alabama area. She is. Um, but she's just not a likable personality anymore. Even when you see her out doing things, she'll go live and she's being shady. She's throwing out subliminals like we stupid. And then she try to act like we don't know what she's talking about. Girl, we're not Martell. I know you used to that level of IQ, but we're not that. Some of us see right through you. And some of us are even more spiritual than you expect us to be. And the spirit has already told us that you ain't it, girl. And I don't think that the show could rest on the back of Melody. She did great by pulling this cast together, reaching out to Carlos to pull the show together. And I'm giving her praises for that. But as a talent on the show, she ain't given to me. She's not. What's her storyline? What do we know about her kids? What new relationships she's in? What events she's involved in? We don't know anything. Although she's out here doing stuff, we don't know anything about it. We don't see it. I don't think that they can just her personality alone, her character alone will carry the show. So, um Pacino says, I think Carlos told the core six to work towards getting to a point to be able to film together. I think Melody and Marceau are the best cast members. We about to get over there. And I agree with you on that. Um, the kids can't be shown. Yes, they got it tied up in court. Um, Blind Visionary says, so why not do to Melody what they did to Mariah from Married to Medicine? She was the EP as well. Remember we talked about that, Blind Visionary? Oh, I love it when we do a callback. So let's go back over there. Remember, I told y'all that Melody was giving that energy. Twin, where have you been? The imbalance of power of her and the other castmates on this show. She's bossing up on them and letting them know that she is the boss. So it doesn't make for a great ensemble energy because we're not the same. She's making it known we're not the same. Remember, someone from Married to Medicine said that Mariah used to go around saying that the show was called Married to Mariah because that's how Mariah was giving it to them. And it appears that Melody is doing the same thing or has that same type of energy over here in Huntsville. So we are moving forward talking about Marceau. We get to the seasonal sit down between Melody and Marceau. Miss Dugan said, not the same production team that Melody dealt with. Miss Dugan, you going in tonight? What cocktail you sipping on? Oh my God, y'all! I can't laugh too hard. I ain't gonna have no voice. But yeah, we get to the seasonal sit down between Melody and Marceau. And the reason I said earlier that I think that Stormy and Marceau are the only two cast members that I feel Melody has any ounce of respect for is because they are the only two that give her a balance of power. And Stormy, because of her business savvy, Marceau, because Marceau, believe it or not, I feel he's probably the most emotionally intelligent person on the cast. I know y'all gonna throw rocks and tomatoes at me. That's fine. I'm a whole soldier out here. I can handle it. But yes, in this conversation, just like I was just sharing, Stephanie, you tell me how you feel. Melody even pulled a boss move at the table with Marcel. She approached this conversation with more grace. She came into the conversation. Stephanie says, I'm going to have to log off. Good night. It was interesting conversation. Thanks for letting me be a voice on this show. Thank you for dropping in, Stephanie. You are welcome anytime. Always. But yeah, so she approached the conversation a little differently than what she would have done with the ladies. Pacino says, I like Marceau when he's away from Tisha. She also says, good night to you, Stephanie. I've personally met Marceau, so I feel like he's a likable person. I don't like how he's treated his wife either. But I do feel like, as far as, just an acquaintance or an associate, he's a likable person. All right. But with that being stated, Melody knows that Marceau is intelligent, and she can't approach him the way that she approaches these other cast members, and the way she talks down to them and talk over them like she's mama talking to her chicken nuggets, as she calls them. She comes in, and the first thing she wants to address is the Black Business Expo. She needs to make it very well known that I gave y'all advice and y'all took my advice. See how lovely and nice I am to you? This was a play. This was a whole chess game. This conversation, for me, y'all tell me how you feel, but for me, I saw a whole chess game. I liked and enjoyed that conversation with her and Stormy, but I think this one was what really got my goat. This was a chess game. She came in playing her hand and playing her pieces. Yes, that's so good. That's so nice. See, I told y'all. Then Marceau comes to the confessional, saying, even though you didn't think we were listening and we take good advice. And yes, we were happy to extend the offer for you to come and participate. Well, I had other engagements, blah, 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 blah. So that was Marceau making his chess move, like, hey, we extended that olive branch out to you. Yes, Miss Dogan, I'm glad we see each other. And she gets into, well, I wanted to speak with you because you had a conversation with the media. So here's the boss move right here. This is she played her little nice cards or nice chess moves. Now this is gonna be her big man move. And she thought that she had kinged herself then. She didn't ask him to king me. She thought she kinged herself. He explains, oh, you're meaning about the incident between you and Martell. Yes, that's what I'm talking about, Marcel. You notice her voice changed again? Melody with these voice changes, okay? Her voice changed again as if now she was combative, almost like a girlfriend mad at her man. And she was like, so what did you say? And Marceau was trying to calm her back down, because it was almost as if, okay, I feel your energy going up, but let me calm it back down. He said, you do realize that it's a lot of MARs on this show, and that the media thought that it was me that was locked up, not Martell. So they reached out to me for a statement. Now, I have to say, like I said, I live in Alabama. I work in that area. I had heard that it was Marceau. So he might be telling the truth. I don't know if it was from the media that I heard it or if it was the blog, but I had heard that it was Marceau that got locked up. Then we saw the mugshot that it was Martell. But anywho, so Marcella said I had to. They reached out to me for a statement, and I needed to clear that up. And he said they text me, and she wants to boss up now. Well, I want to see the text. Like, you want to see the text? I want to see this. Show me. She starts doing that. She's doing these numbers. This is a different energy from what Marceau is used to in his home, because Tisha just starts crying. She don't give no boss up move like that. This is a different energy than how he normally handles this type of conflict. Folks calling the man a liar. I really don't see Marceau as a liar. He just skirts the truth. Right. I definitely believe he dances around the truth. But anywho, so I want to see the text message. So he pulls out the text message. And then he says, and I said something else at the end, because he wasn't gonna tell her what else he said until he decided to show her the text message. That's when he finally says, and I said something else at the end. So she reads the text message, and she was like, and you said free Martell? What the hell? And she starts going in with that high-pitched, real countrified voice. I'm sorry, y'all, that hurt. That really, really hurt. Ooh. Yeah. She came all out of character then. Very uncouth. That was not the same long denim skirt wearing, prison ministry singing Melody. That was somebody totally different. That was a whole nother spirit that got the cussing and everything in that little dining area. She free Martell. It should be free Tisha. So now why you bring this man wife into this conversation? Tisha didn't have nothing to do with this. So we see what her defense mechanism is. That when you piss me off, now I'm coming for your relationship. That goes back to what I said before. That her and Martell were on a mission to try to destroy everybody else's relationship when theirs was in the pit and they were on Front Street. Melody has that same mindset. It's still there. It's in there. And then they mention the fans. And she gets the cussing about, you want me to he mentioned something, I can't remember specifically what he said, but he mentioned something to the effect of her not correcting her fans, those doggone millimeters. You want me to put a stop to something from people that I've never met before, but your mother-in-law, here she is attacking another relationship, personal relationship of his. She get to saying things and you can't stop her. So I got a question for y'all. They bring up the fans a lot because we started the episode with Tisha being consumed with what the fans think. Now we're ending the episode with Melody being consumed with what the fans think. In the middle, we had a sandwich of Destiny and Tisha talking about the fans. You had Marcel talking about the fans. Somebody else, I think, mentioned the fans. But do you think the appetite of the audience, the fans, are ruining our reality TV experience? Drop down in the comments and let me know what you think. Because it's something to this whole fans thing. I have paid attention to other content creators, and just about everybody is out here saying, it's so boring. They so boring. They so boring. I'm getting a lot out of these every episode that they've aired. I'm getting a lot. I usually try to have a 60-minute conversation. But every episode that we've discussed on Love and Marriage Huntsville this season has run over an hour, even if it's me or me and a co-host. Pacino says social media is overwhelming the show. I think so, Pacino. It's something they need to all have some type of group counseling session, some type of intervention where they can get to a point to where They are not consumed with what the audience thinks. I know that you have to have a knowledge of who your audience is, because you need to give your audience what they want, essentially. But at the same time, you cannot be so consumed with giving playing to the audience that you are performing now and you're not being real. Pacino says she agrees. Blind Visionary says people get way too invested in these shows. Yes. And I'm gonna tell you something else that I noticed too, that it seems to me that the audience doesn't feel like it's exciting unless they are fighting. And that is concerning to me, because clearly the cast is trying to give the audience what they want. And the audience don't think it's an exciting episode unless somebody is fighting. That's a problem. Um Monique Samuels came from under a rock this week, bringing up fight issues again. But was it her that put these fight scenes? We saw on Married to Medicine that the audience didn't pick up its views of the show until they had a fight. We saw it on Real Housewives of Potomac that all these new fans start coming over to the show after that big fight with Candace and Monique. Just this past week, TGIF with Claudia, Al, and the other guy, Armand. They get to fighting and now they got viewers. Are we the problem? Basketball Wives, fights. Love and Hip Hop, fights. I know specifically for me, I didn't want to go see Love and Hip Hop until I saw Chrissy fighting over there. I'm like, this beautiful woman, what is she doing? I had to go find out what happened. And then I said, no, this is not what I want to ingest in my system. Same thing with Basketball Wives. But are we the problem? And I'm asking this question because it's getting to a point to where we don't have a whole lot of scripted Black cast shows. The ones that we do have are, or did have, because we don't know when P Valley coming back. But the ones that we do have gun violence, all kind of, sexual trauma, racial issues, all that stuff that's triggering. Just fun, lighthearted shows. We don't have a lot of them unless it's a reality TV show. And I don't want to see us get to the point to where the audience's voice and diminishing of these reality TV shows completely take them off the show, off air. Pacino says, I noticed that some fans don't want to give themselves a chance to get to know new cast members. No patience whatsoever. Exactly, Pacino. We talked about this last week too. When it comes to character development, it's going to take the producers a couple of seasons to really develop these new cast mates and their story. But you already have, and especially Tarzan and Jane, they got a lot of story to give. But you already have a lot of the content creators saying, get them off the screen, they're boring. Yes, Trisha does not open her mouth to talk for real. But what Trisha did let us know from the beginning, she got 2 closets full of skeletons. And it's up to those producers, if they do their job right and they not pull a Sunny on us, that they can pull all them skeletons out of the closet. And they're starting to fall out. The woman's real husband's supposed to be coming on the show at some point, according to my good friend Carlos. But it's a lot that they can give. Same thing with Stormy and her husband. They're trying to have a new baby. Stormy got all this business stuff going on. He's into these classic cars. They got a lot to give, but the people are not giving them an opportunity to tell the story. If they didn't see a fight in the episode, that it wasn't good enough to keep it on air. And I got a problem with that, y'all. I really want us to reconsider. Why can't we resolve differences in a manner that keeps everyone paid? We don't think TGIF is coming back at all. And they were getting paid nice six-figure salaries each. But because someone on the show went too far, it might not ever come back. Same thing, and I hate to say it because she is my girl, Team Twirl. Same thing with Real Housewives of Atlanta. Kenya went too far, allegedly. And that's what is perceived to be needed in order to remain on air. Who's at fault? Is it the audience? Is it the production? Or is it the cast? But somewhere in this area, we need to figure it out. Because I do want to see these majority black casts on the screens. I do. Representation matters. I was a girl who, first of all, I told y'all, strict Pentecostal. We didn't even have cable, and them regular TV shows didn't have a whole lot of black folks on them. So, so I want to see black people on TV. Okay, I'm interested in seeing the black people on TV. But we as an audience have to get to a place to where we uphold them to a place where they can remain on TV. This is reality TV. We cannot script how they act. And we can't say, well, because they didn't act like I wanted them to act, then they need to go. That's not fair. That's not fair. It does not give them grace enough to grow. And in your relationships, if you just constantly cancel people out your life because they didn't act like you wanted them to act, then you will have no one in your life. And no one gets anywhere in life without other people. So come on, y'all, let's be fair. Blind Visionary says, but it stopped. Wait. First, she says, that's one of the reasons why I stopped watching so much reality TV. Even before I went blind, it was supposed to be an escape from my reality. Exactly. But it stopped being enjoyable because of all the senseless fighting and drama. Exactly. So can we get to a point to where we allow our appetite to want wholesomeness and want the real story to be told? I can see straight through fakeness, and I don't want to see that. I don't want to see them playing for the camera. I will say the reason why I like to see Marceau on the screen, it appears to me that Marceau is very aware that there's an audience out there, but he's also intelligent enough to be authentic even before the audience. Even if it makes him look like a total a-hole, and he hasn't been afraid to be a jerk and an a-hole on this show. He's aware that there's an audience. He knows how to hold back and not say the wrong thing. He does, because he ain't told us where his bodies are buried. Elizabeth Hargrove says, this is very good live and refreshing. Thank you. We'll definitely come back again. Thank you. Please like the video as you're entering, exiting, and I would love for you to subscribe and come back. And you bring a friend too. We have good conversations over here. I have always liked Marceau. He keeps it real, even if real ain't cute. Right. And okay, now let me ask this, and we're gonna get on out of here because we have gone well over some time. Question. What is going on with Maurice? Thank you, Miss Dogan. Miss Dogan says, yeah. At Elizabeth Hargrove, we have a great time over here. I didn't get that infectious laugh yet, though. I'm sorry. You know, it's my friend Ashton that keep me giggling. And I miss him tonight. But yeah, what's going on with Maurice in this court case? It appears that Maurice is about to lose both of his jobs. Pacino says, I don't know what's going on with Maurice. Maurice seems to be another one like Tisha. Book smart, but I don't know if he can keep up in the streets. He need an adult supervisor. He does. He needs his brother to hold his hand. He needs to film with his brother. I remember I had some male cousins, the only male cousins in the family, that older brother, younger brother, I think they were like 2 or 3 years apart. And the younger brother had a speech impediment, and he was at school crying, and they couldn't settle him down, and they asked someone to get his brother for him. And they said, well, they asked my younger cousin, well, what's your brother's name? And he said, brother. All he knew was brother. That to me is what I think of Maurice. Who's coming to pick up Maurice from the jail for the DUI? Brother? Can I get brother? Maurice, who was standing with you in court? You needed your brother? Where is your brother? Is that why you fell apart in court? Allegedly, that's what they say. I wasn't there. I don't know what's going on with Maurice. Right. I don't understand the case and the info being spread. I got to deep dive. You know, there's some content creators that have done the deep dive for you, baby. I don't even know their names, y'all. These are people that are new to me, so I apologize that I don't know their names. Something with T, and then one of them I think is Queen Sheba, I think. They're new to me, so I apologize for not getting it right, or if I didn't get it right. But y'all, we've had a thrilling conversation this evening. I've definitely enjoyed everyone, even our newcomers. Please, 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 as you're entering, exiting, make sure you like the video. We will be back next week, and I believe Ashton's coming back with me on next week. So we will see you then next Thursday night. I'm sorry I had to change the night, but I appreciate you coming over here with me on a Friday night. But next Thursday night, we will discuss tomorrow night's episode. All right. So until then, guys, make sure that you love God and you love your families. All right. And remember, they not like us. They not like us. They not like us. All right.